women have been deceived because the abortion clinic doesn't say, come on, women, come and kill your babies. Sorry, delete
Wait,
your babies.
Andrew Stephen says, how can you object to the comparison with the slave trade? Easily, because it's not the same. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, no, it's not the same. Like,
but comparisons aren't equal. Like people make comparisons all the time, but comparisons doesn't have to be.
No, but then if you make an analogy, I'm gonna say that's a terrible analogy or comparison. It doesn't make sense. So
are you being emotional?
I'm not. No, I'm not being emotional. Like you can't compare. You can say the numbers, yeah, but you can, and you're talking about unborn, all these types of stuff, painless versus people. I don't even want to get into the pain of slavery. Like, do you really understand what the transatlantic slave trade was? Do you really understand it? Do you really understand it?
Yeah, we studied it. As an organization, we've studied it.
So if you studied it,
horrific.
How can you then make
China? What I'm doing?
Wait, hold on. Wait. If you're gonna make a comparison and you want to stick it and you want to own it, then we're gonna have to cook it up a little bit. So if you want to make the comparison to the transatlantic slave trade to fetuses being aborted, okay, you want to do that. All right. So what do you do when you do that? What do you do when you do that? You strip us. You strip us of all the. I mean, I'm not. I don't come from slave. I don't have slave blood. That's not me. But it's not about me. It's about what's bigger than me. Okay, like it's what's bigger than me. They're not like us. It's bigger than me, right? So you can make the comparison. It's fine. Anyone can make any comparison that you want to do. But if you make the comparison to the transatlantic slave trade with abortion, then you have to be ready to own it and back it up. And then you're going to get a lot of black people that are going to say to you, hold on a second, no, it's not the same. And and you just got to be prepared to be like, yeah, cool, and just back it. And I can tell you all the reasons why it's not the same. Like, you know what I mean? Like.
Go ahead.
Do you know about the butt breaking? Do you know what butt breaking was?
Explain.
Okay, so you didn't study it. And when I say you studied it, you've studied it probably from a white level.
Explain the concept.
I'm gonna explain it, but you said a lot, so I have to do it how I normally do it. So you didn't study it, because if you can't even tell me what butt breaking is, you didn't study it. Butt breaking. Let me tell you what butt breaking is. This is what they practice on places like Jamaica. This is one of the things that they did. So butt breaking, they would pick the strongest, the biggest, strongest black man, and what they would do in front of all of his people, they would sodomize him and grape him in front of people, okay? Because when you do that, you break his spirit. And they will repeatedly do this. This is just one of the things that they would do. Just one of the things. What I'm going to talk about, okay, let's talk about exporting the slaves or transporting the slaves. Have you ever heard about, I want to get down to the nitty gritty. Have you heard of that saying?
Yes, I have heard of nitty-gritty.
Do you know where that comes from?
Go ahead.
You don't, because you didn't study it. So nitty-gritty, what it actually means is the slaves were so packed, they were so tightly packed and jammed together that their skin started to attach itself to each other, okay? One of the things that will happen in it, yeah? So the nitty-gritty is essentially slave skin is peeling, all that type of stuff. We're going to do another thing. Picnic. Have you heard of say picnic?
Go ahead.
We're going to go for picnic. You know where that comes from? To go out. Okay, let me tell you what it was. Let me tell you, to go and pick a nigga. Picnic. You never knew that, did you?
Dehumanizing language. That was dehumanizing language.
No, but what I'm trying to say to you is this, isn't it? When you say something, you're gonna have to understand. You're gonna get people that are going to challenge what you're going to say, and then it's going to bring disrepute to what you're saying. You can have a very good argument about abortion and saving children, like all of that stuff, without picking another atrocity from humanity to compare it to. Because when you do, you're going to get people that are going to challenge you more than what you're doing, and then you're like, so I'm saying to you is, you do what you're doing, but if you want to start picking slavery as something to compare it to, you're going to get people that are going to push back. And then I think that's where you're going to get more of a problem from. That's what I'm saying.
And so can I just come back now on what you said?
Of course you can.
Yeah. So you just gave examples of horrific, atrocities that happened to the people, right? To African people who were stolen and taken to the Americas, Caribbean, whatever. And but in the same way, babies, not in the same way, in a dehumanizing way.
Yeah.
I can sit here and list. Do you know what happens in late-term abortion? Do you know what happens in a late-term abortion?
Tell us, for the benefit of the stream. Tell us what happens, please.
Okay, am I allowed to use the language? Okay, so they basically, the woman, they inject into the womb and into the baby. They inject it with saline, and then they have to crush the baby's head.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about
that. So we're talking about a crushing of a baby's head. We're talking about at 20 late term, 24 months, 24 weeks, sorry. So that's 6 months. Can you visualize what a 6-month baby looks like? Let me show you. Here we go. There, it's a living one. It's not aborted. But people are probably used to seeing, because they survive outside the womb anyway. So they literally have to put the forceps in and crush the baby's skull and rip the baby out, and the woman has to give birth to that baby. There's also D and E, dilation evacuation abortions, where they have to rip the babies out piece by piece, and then they have to arrange the body parts. So the head, the torso, the arms, the legs, which they've ripped apart piece by piece. They have to make sure there's no body part left inside. This is decapitation. This is torture. Some of these babies feel pain. They feel pain. These babies are tortured to death, and you want to say it's not fair to compare. The only way you can say it's not fair is as if you're feeling that I'm minimizing the pain of a different people. But it's not about minimizing the pain of another people group. It's about you minimizing the pain of the babies. Because you've sat there, and yes, I am. You've sat there all apathetic. Let the women, have their right to choose. But we're talking about crushing of babies' skulls and sucking their body parts out, and you want to minimize that, and then point the finger at me minimizing atrocities that happen to Africans.
Yeah, I do.
People are people. We shouldn't be crushing. It's not exactly the same. No two injustices are exactly the same.
Well, you don't think?
Babies are ripped apart.
What do you mean they burnt black people? What do you talk? They threw black people off the ships. Like, you're right.
Babies are ripped apart, and if you want to minimize that, you can minimize that.
I'm not minimizing it, but you want to minimize. You want to minimize.
That's bad. I'm not minimizing that. I'm not minimizing that.
What do you mean? You want to minimize displacement?
Who's minimizing? Because I'm not sitting here saying what they suffered was.
Because you made a comparison. You could have. Do you know what
How
it is?
am I minimizing
your argument. No, do you know what it is? Because your argument doesn't hold up without using a comparison against. Why are you mentioning black people for? And you didn't. You could have had a good argument without doing it, but you're trying to. But you're trying to use another person, another people, minority, people's atrocities to compare it to yours, and when it doesn't match up, or when the people
is that these atrocities were legal.
We say
these atrocities were legal. That's what's so outrageous, right? Is that both atrocities are legal?
It's about it's not about it being legal. It's about it not being born. It's life. It's inside the body, but it's not about being legal.
And it was morally justified. It was morally justified at the time by a group of people.
What do you mean?
And abortion is
morally justified today. Not. It's just that.
That's the comparison.
You're trying. Well, you can make the comparison if you want. You can. And this is the thing. Anyone can make any comparison what they want to do, but the problem is when the comparisons don't match, is you're going to lose people, and then they're like, she's trying to compare abortion to slavery. Yeah, that's it. And in that moment, all that work you're trying to do, all those leaflets you're trying to hand out, you're just gonna that's it. People just turn off because they'll be like, because you have a good argument until you stop.
Not everyone does, China.
I'm not saying
because you're getting in your emotions. Because you're getting in your emotions, you may.
I'm not emotional.
You may.
There's nothing to be emotional about.
Not everyone
There's
does.
nothing to be. I'm not a slave. I was never a slave. I don't have slavery in my blood. My dad's a chief, so I'm not emotional. But one thing I do know is black people are emotional, extremely. So what's going to happen is when you go out there and you say abortion is like slavery, watch what's going to happen to you. So it's not me. I was never a slave. I don't have slavery in my blood. My father's a chief. I don't. But what I do know is black people, and being a white woman as well, speaking of black issues, is one of the easiest ways to just destroy yourself. It really is. And if you want to discover it, I dare you to go and do this. You know what? Furthermore, it's not, you know what it is? It's not even that. It's because we're on a live, right? And the live afterwards will get clipped up, okay? And then it's going to have a white woman saying that abortion is the same as slavery, saying it to me. And you know what's going to happen?
I never said the same.
No.
So yeah,
okay, it's going to be whatever you...
You can clip me up however you want.
No, I'm not going to clip you. Listen, I can't clip anything. Listen, you're missing what I'm trying to say to you. Please don't overtalk me, please. You're missing what I'm trying to say to you. I'm saying to you is, whatever narrative you're trying to push or say, or analogies or comparisons you've made, okay, you've made it with black people and slavery, right? And I'm a black person, okay? I know what they don't want to hear from. And the reason I'm saying it to you, because you're taking a precarious decision or error to go down. You can do whatever you want. It's your narrative and it's your speech. But I am telling you something. When you start mentioning black issues and you're white, it's never going to go down well. And specifically on social media, when you open up to a wider demographic.
I'm talking about human issues. I'm talking
Listen. Remember what you're doing. See, you're not speaking to me. I get you. But this is not about me. You're talking through me. After this goes on live and in socials, and you got to remember, it's not about clipping it up. You made a comparison. You might have some reasons why you feel you can make that comparison. That's up to you. That's cool. But the moment a white woman is speaking on black issues and making that comparison, you're going to get pushback. And it's not going to come from me because I don't care. After this live, do you get me? I don't care. But I'm saying to you is when you go into, you got to be careful. And whether or not you choose to listen to me or not, this reminds me of? This reminds me of scenario of Pearl. And I gave her some advice. And Pearl's my people. Pearl's my people. But I gave her some advice. And she didn't listen to me.